We're gonna check out Agatha All Along. Who was this even made for? From Critical Drinker. Say what you will about Critical Drinker. I enjoy the videos. One, because it starts up a good conversation, whether I agree with him or not on whatever he's talking about. Same with Nerdrotic. More on that coming soon. This show, it comes out in 2 days. So on Wednesday. It's be weekly. I guess it's gonna be like 2 episodes premiering on that night, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm not looking forward to the show. I'm more just like, it's coming out. It's a Marvel property. Some aspects of it look kind of cool, but more or less, I feel like it's late to the party. But you know, that's kind of the Marvel way right now. So let's just see what he's got for us here.
Man, some people just absolutely refuse to take the win. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine turned out to be the biggest smash hit of the summer movie season, and while I don't think it's going to be enough to change the trajectory of the MCU,
made a whole lot of money.
At least be seen as the first step in the right direction. What Marvel really need to do now is follow it up with a high-profile, crowd-pleasing project, something to solidify the success of Deadpool and prove that it was more than just a lucky fluke for a franchise that's sliding slowly into irrelevancy. So naturally, they decided to follow it up with Agatha All Along.
Naturally.
And if that name's not familiar to you, you might remember it more as Agatha House of Harkness.
Oh my god. Or
Agatha
Coven of
Chaos.
Yep.
Or Agatha
Darkhold Diary. All way better names than what we're getting. Agatha All Along is like, I mean, I get it. That was a popular song from the WandaVision series. Very cool twist. You know, that was great. But I think, I don't know, Darkhold Diaries is dope. Covenant of Chaos is my favorite. Even though this, I don't know, I feel like this show could kind of more lean towards that. Kind of like how, you know, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness that movie did not feel like the title of the movie. And I felt like this was going to go more that route, but then they changed it all up.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And yeah, the constant name changes were definitely an intentional move as part of a quirky marketing campaign, and totally not a panicking studio trying different ways to polish a turd. It's a show that's been in development for so long that I genuinely started to forget what it was even based on, and I suspect the people behind the trailer realized this too, which is why about 50% of it is just a recap of WandaVision. Remember WandaVision? Remember the first few episodes that hinted at a bold and inventive new way of Marvel storytelling on Disney Plus, only to devolve into the same generic CGI slop as everything else they've put out?
Okay, look, like, yes, the last episode, sure. Maybe even the episode beforehand, but what was that, 8 episodes? 10? I can't remember. But it was still a really cool series. Rewatchable to a degree. Maybe not as rewatchable as Loki, at least for me. Loki, for me, is very rewatchable, both seasons. This one, I feel like it's got some rewatchable moments, but up until you get to the twist, then it kind of like falls or trips over its own ankles. I don't know. Like it gets a little bit too Marvel-y at that point, which, I mean, that's what we'd expect, but I thought they were going a different route. It was going to be something a little bit more, I don't know, a different feel for the most part.
In the past 5 years. Anyway, believe it or not, the show is almost upon us now, and having watched the trailer and a couple of the behind-the-scenes featurettes to familiarize myself with what it's trying to be, the biggest question that comes to my mind is, who's this show even made for? Don't worry though, we'll come back to that question in a minute. The general premise, as far as I understand it, is that Agatha was stripped of her powers and imprisoned by Wanda at the end of WandaVision, but with Wanda dead, for now at least,
she's coming back.
Been released from her spell.
The
problem is that she still doesn't have her witch powers back, and the only way to retrieve them is to follow the witch's road, where she'll be rewarded by whatever she wants at the end, provided she can survive the trials, of course. So before you can say contrived plot ideas, she's assembled a diverse squad of witches to embark on her journey with her. Nice to see a token male witch thrown in there too. I'm sure he's going to be a real bastion of masculinity.
Can I interest you in a pre-road appetizer?
Nah, never mind. While we're on that subject though, let's see if we can find any of the other modern MCU trademarks, shall we? Cringeworthy attempts at humor?
You're bound.
And you need a chemical peel.
Check. Generic tough female character that everyone's supposed to be scared of? Check.
I am looking forward to Aubrey Plaza though. I like her. You know, mainly from Parks and Recreation. But she's good in a lot of stuff, so I am looking forward to what she has to bring here.
Implied gay relationship that can be easily edited out for international releases?
Do I hate her or fill out her phone number?
Check.
This is
Check.
never gonna work.
Never a truer word was spoken, lass. The one thing I can say in the show's favour is that they seem to be prioritising practical effects over CGI, at least according to the behind-the-scenes featurettes, which is something, I guess. In a franchise where apparently it's too much effort to even film on a suburban street for real, it's nice to see production designers working with prosthetics, animatronics, and
I'll give 'em
actual
that.
physical sets for a change. I mean, I definitely wouldn't expect them to continue this trend, but it did make me think that someone in charge of it actually cares about the end products. That's nice and all, but I suspect all that good work is going to be undone by the writing, which, if the trailer and the features is anything to go by, is going to make Amy Schumer seem like Dave Chappelle. I mean, I know that humor's subjective, but Jesus Christ, there's only so far you can push that premise before it collapses under the weight of terrible gags, awful delivery, and a tone so predictable that it feels like it came off an assembly line. It's weird because the featurettes keep making such a big deal out of how hilariously funny the lead actress is, and how surprising it is that she can also do drama.
So many people think of Catherine as being a comedic actor, but it's her dramatic ability to go all the way there. Blast me, you witches!
Meanwhile, all I could think about was this scene from Planet Terror.
Oh my God.
They all say I'm hysterical.
But you're not.
This
But
is
you're
what
not.
happens when you tell people lies their entire careers. Lies like, you're really funny, or you're a great singer, or this show is totally going to be a hit, trust me.
I think I also think like it's one reason I don't watch a lot of featurettes before whatever is coming out. I'll watch it after because I like the behind the scenes stuff. But it's mostly just them, trying to really push you to watch it and give you different things that'll entice you to watch their product. And a lot of times, I mean, sometimes it's lies, sometimes it's on point. But when it's a show like this, like I feel like they do a lot of featurettes to really just like kind of change the perspective of the show or whatever property they're trying to enlighten here. So it's I don't watch these, especially for Marvel. DC sometimes I will, depending on what the movie is. Like the featurettes they had for the Batman, those are great. So that stuff I will watch. And yes, am I picky choosy sometimes? Yes, I am. You are too. I just admit it.
I think the person I feel most sorry for, though, is Aubrey Plaza, one of the only actresses in this show who's actually funny in real life, and probably deserves a lot more success than she's gotten in her career. If Jenna Ortega is the MCU, then Plaza is the Fox X-Men movies. Someone who got there first, had their share of wins and losses, but never quite reached the same heights, and ultimately blew their best chance of success. But I think the biggest problem this show has to
Is that true? I mean, you guys feel that way? I feel like Aubrey Plaza, I mean, she has her moments. She's had her moments. Maybe she should be a little bit bigger than she is as far as, her stardom. She'll get it somewhere. I wish it wasn't the start of like in this. That's just me. But who knows? I mean, she might be the standout. I feel like she's going to be. She's the only reason I'm really going to watch the show. But yeah, this is where I'm at with it.
overcome is that, well, nobody really wanted this thing in the first place. It was commissioned at a very different time, a time when Marvel was still riding high, and they probably thought that every new Disney Plus show was going to spawn a whole network of spin-offs that people would absolutely gobble up. Fuck. And well, the reality in 2024 is very different. Tell me, are you excited to watch a show that's basically a spin-off of a spin-off, centered around a character that was so completely forgettable that it's almost impossible to even form an opinion about her now?
Pretty much.
I asked at the start of this video who I thought this show was made for, and taking into account the aging and mostly female cast, the campy tone, the song and dance numbers, the constant wardrobe changes, and the painfully dated attempts at humor, it seems to be a show targeted at middle-aged wine mums who also have a passing interest in superhero movies. And I'm not gonna lie, that is a pretty small demographic you're appealing to there. I think Marvel themselves suspect that this show is dead in the water and is likely to land with all the impact of a left hook from Stephen Hawking, which is why there's been almost no advertising pushed for it. By all accounts, their senior leadership is very aware of their decline in popularity these days, and more importantly, the reasons why it's happening, and they're working hard to alter course. The problem is that massive franchises like the MCU are about as maneuverable as your average supertanker, and there's still a whole lot of shit in the pipeline that's too far along to salvage. For example, Ironheart's been in the can for years now, and they still haven't released it because they know it's gonna suck. But just like the DCU, once James Gunn took over, there's not much choice except to expel it out into the world, get it over with, and hopefully move on to something better. Honestly, with 9 episodes to get through, I don't think I'll even bother watching Agatha all along, and I suspect a lot of other people out there are gonna feel the same way. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Again, I'm going to check it out. Will I watch it every week? I don't know yet. I'm actually going to be out of town when the first episode drops, so I'm not going to watch it till Thursday. But I don't know. Like, where are you guys with it? Are you interested? He does bring up a good point, though. Who is the show for? It's not for me, necessarily. Could it be from the story perspective? Possibly. I won't know till I watch it. But from the offset, as far as the trailer and just the overall premise, I'm not that interested. There's no one that I'm looking forward to from the cast except Aubrey Plaza. Catherine Hahn as Agatha, she was all right in WandaVision before she revealed herself. Like afterwards, and it was like, oh god, like this, no, I'm kind of done. But the other characters, I'm not really interested in. I feel like they're gonna kind of go with somewhat of a, I don't want to say an agenda aspect here, but it's clear that the one boy is gay. Plus, I believe he is one of Wanda's sons. I don't know, like if he comes from another dimension, how that works, but I know like he goes out and like searches after Agatha, something like that. So there's gonna be a lot of different aspects that people just don't care for from the show. That I already know. But just based on even the demographic of the cast, like it's not, I can tell it's not really for me. But I'm gonna check it out because it is a Marvel property. It's going in the supernatural element or supernatural realm of the MCU. I do want to see more of that. Because I want to see that with Blade, even though that might get canceled. Ironheart probably canceled. Of course, the black shows, the black movie, leads in these movies, those are going to probably get canceled. Who knows? But now I'm hearing Blade maybe won't. Who knows? All I know is I want the writing to be on point. Even if it's not really for me, just tell a good story. Tell a good story and create characters that I care about and want to follow. Right now, going into this, I don't want to follow any of these characters because I don't care about what they're going through. And it's late. This came out maybe 2 years after WandaVision. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You're in a very different playing field right now, like he said. So a couple of my thoughts there. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Are you looking forward to Agatha all along? Are you going to check it out? If it was called one of the other names, would you be more excited? If it was Coven of Chaos, I would have been all in. Just off the name. The trailer could have still been the trailer, but the name alone would have gotten me hooked. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this. Also check out the description if you want more information on the equipment that I use, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.